politics, religion, culture, and lots more. Keep listening to Carnival Radio. Carnival Radio, enjoyment unlimited.
Good evening and welcome to news around the world from Carnival Radio. I am Joseph Oyukola. Starting the news this evening from Africa. Nearly 130 people have been summarily executed by Islamist insurgents in Niger in separate attacks since March. The right group says gunmen carried out a series of brutal attacks, including a mass murder at a mosque in the western Tabari region in June, where more than 70 worshippers were shot dead during prayers. The spate of attacks is a major blow to the credibility of Niger's military junta, as it promised to curb the insurgency when it took power after deposing President Mohamed Bazoum in 2023. About 1,600 civilians have been killed by Islamic State IS group fighters in Niger since the coup HRW Saitipol. Moving to Asia, lawmakers in Hong Kong have rejected a controversial bill that would have granted limited rights to same-sex couples in a blow to the city's gay rights movement. The law, which would have recognized some rights for couples who were married overseas, was opposed by 71 of the city's 89-member Legislative Council, LEGCO. It was proposed by the government to comply with the 2023 court ruling following the rejection of an attempt to legalize same-sex marriage. While the city has in recent years been perceived as becoming gay-friendly, it has limited rights for the estimated 6% of the adult population who are identified as LGBTQ. Recent polls suggest that there is rising support towards the community. In Australia, Australian authorities are investigating a US influencer who has sparked controversy by filming himself trapping wild crocodiles in Queensland. Mike Austin is under fire for two videos posted for his millions of followers online, one showing him wrestling a freshwater crocodile and another showing him manhandling a saltwater crocodile, one of the planet's deadliest creatures. Mr. Austin says he made the videos for educational purposes, but wildlife experts says his behavior is cruel and has been labeled a goose by the state leader. Queensland officials say the influencer actions, which can attract fines of up to $37,000, are extremely dangerous and illegal. In Europe, 3 people died overnight off the coast of Calais as they attempted to cross the English Channel. The prefect of Pas de Calais, Loretta Vogt, indicated those who died were likely crushed to the bottom of the boat. It told reporters that smuggling gangs were responsible for the death and vowed to go after them. It was initially reported that 2 of the 3 were children, and authorities later said the victims were young people, with 2 of them possibly children. Those who died are thought to have been from Egypt and Southeast Asia. Authorities said the boat was overloaded with more than 70 on board. Moving to South America, 2 out of 5 Supreme Court justices tasked with deciding the fate of the former Brazilian president Jair Bolsonaro have found the ex-leader guilty of plotting a coup. But Bolsonaro will only be convicted if at least one more justice finds him guilty. The former president has denied all the charges against him. The fourth justice to cast his vote, Alessandra de Moraes, said there was no doubt that there had been a coup attempt after Bolsonaro lost the 2022 presidential election to his left-wing rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The second justice, Flovodino, also found Bolsonaro guilty of all the 5 charges against him. The trial will continue today, Wednesday. On to the last news around the world this evening. In North America, former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris have delivered her sharpest criticism yet of her former boss, calling Joe Biden's decision to seek a second-time recklessness in an excerpt from her forthcoming memoir. In an extract for her book 107 Days, published by The Atlantic on Wednesday, Harris also describes moments where she felt sidelined or denied credit for her work by Biden's team. Harris wrote that as vice president, she was in the worst position to tell Biden not to run for president again. And that ends news around the world from Carnival Radio. This news was brought to you by Carnival Radio Current Affairs and News Department, compiled by Elizabeth Kemikuku. I am Joseph Oyukola. Good evening, and please do what to enjoy your night. Good night.